Namaste. सदा खुश रहो बिटिया. I, जीवन Dr. L.K. Sharma, Professor Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today our topic is electoral reforms in India, suggestive measures. Electoral reforms are required to clean politics and actual presentation and healthy democracy. Article 324 to 329 deal with the election and electoral reforms. The electoral reform refers to the introduction of the best practice in ensuring better democracy, clean politics, fair elections, ideal members of the legislative house, true representation, and so on. Electoral reform. The process of electoral reforms focus mainly on broadening the core meaning of democracy, making it more citizen friendly. Following are the articles which are related to the electoral reforms. The Article 324 to Article 329 deals with the elections and electoral reforms. Article 324 deals with superintendence, direction, coordination and control of elections by the Election Commission. Article 325 states that no person to be ineligible for including in or to claim to be included in the special electoral roll on the ground of religion, race, caste or sex. Article 326 deals with the election of the House of the Peoples and to the legislative assemblies. Article 327 provides a power to Parliament to make a provision with respect to election to the legislature. Article 328 provides a power to legislature or a state to make a provision with respect to election to such legislature. Article 329 provides to create a bar on the court to make any interference by the court relating to the electoral matters. Aspects of electoral reforms. The electoral reforms contain the following aspects: transparency about the background of the candidates, freeing the election process from muscles and money power, prohibiting the nexus between business and politics, availing all citizens eligible to vote a comfortable, friendly and assured facilitation of the vote casting, upholding the secrecy of voters, fair registration and recognition of the political parties without any kind of influence, the solution of delisting the illiterate voters, non-partisan role of media, applying the model code of conduct efficiently, streamlining the preparation of electoral rolls, expediting the election process, rationalizing the election process. The requirement of the electoral reforms. The need for the electoral reforms has also been felt mainly due to removing the malicious people and malevolent activities they are involved in. Their requirement can further be elaborated as follows. The election process should reflect the situation of the day and should not be imposed on the contemporary society. To prohibit the criminalization of the politics, to stop the misuse of government machinery, to discourage money and muscle power to contribute in the election procedure, to dismay non-serious candidates to contest in the election. Election process should be neutral, free from any bias for any political parties, to enhance the trust in the eyes of the citizens towards electoral process, to employ the use of technology to further the election process and maybe cinch modern days methods. Some candidates face election for two seats, so it is need to however that make it compulsory for the candidate to pay the expenses occurred on the election on their second constituencies. In conclusion, it can be said that the Election Commission of India needs to be stricter regarding the implementation of election reforms. The key structural reforms are individual rights. The first reform is with regard to individual rights. The personal freedom, which is cornerstone of the fundamental right, is presently under jeopardy. The executive, through the range of draconian laws, was succeeded in curbing the extent of liberty. The political affiliation, geographical location, caste, class, background often become a determinant in shaping and the extent individual's liberty. Government across the party line have cracked down on the free speech and political activity when it has not been convenient, even if they fall within the democratic norms. Institutional autonomy. The second reform is regarding the institutional autonomy. The executive, it has its power. It is important to concern this power and ensure that it operates within the framework of the law. The EC is preceded by playing favorites, SC decisions, and sometimes the absence of the decision questions. The parliament seems weak in front of strong executives. The party in power intervenes the institutional two days. The second urgent reform is the character of institutional autonomy. Third, cooperative federalism. The third is with regard to the cooperative federalism. The COVID-19 crisis shows the importance of the state governance structure. This remains trust deficit, increasing sense of centralization of power within the Indian states. Fourth one is political parties. The fourth reform is regarding the political parties. Parties are to bedrock of the electoral democracy, but in India, bearing a few exceptions, political parties are anarchical. They are centered around the leader of the family and run autocratically, and that is why character for the political party reform with an eye to making it more democratic is essential. Electoral finance. The fifth reform is the electoral finance. Elections are expensive, parties and leaders rely on the funds, and this creates a room for candidates with the criminal backgrounds. The flawed system creates a room for economic capitalism and policy corruption once a party is elected to return favors to private donors. This deprives the many good candidates even of the having a chance to make a mark in the electoral exercise, and it undermines the spirit of inequality. Lack of transparency, and India has got democracy rights. It has a get electoral finance right. Character of freedoms. India requires a character of freedom which should be a bipartisan support, commitment to scrap the sedition, make defamation a civil rather than a criminal offense, institutional reforms. This is the major reforms. India requires an election commission which ensures that the ruling party does not have unfair advantage in the poll. It requires a strong parliament which ensures that the executive is accountable to the legislature in a meaningful way. It requires a judiciary that is solely guided by the constitution. It requires independent investigation and vigilance bodies. The governor should not just be a political representative who is advancing the interests of the party at the center, but at an honest intermediary between the center and state. Thank you. This is all about the election commissions, reforms and suggestive measures. If you are facing any problem, then write a comment on a comment box. Thank you.